Hi, how are you? I'm going to make some chicken, well, I call it rainbow chicken vegetable soup, and I have actually chopped up all the vegetables and everything, made it ready. I'll show you right here. If you see right here, there's onion, a whole onion, 2 carrots, 1 yellow and red bell pepper, and some celery. So to make the soup, it's actually not very complicated, and there will be some seasonings going after as well. I put them in after I get through the vegetable portion. So the way I cook the vegetables is turn the burner on to high, and then put in the onion. So the onion's going to go in first, and then I mix that all up. Hang on. I need to grab a wooden spoon from right beside me here. Hang on. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, so I stir that all up so the onion is coated with the olive oil, and it'll take a minute for it to heat up. And what I do is I cook it until the onions are kind of halfway transparent, not totally translucent as we tend to do when we're cooking onions, but they'll be about halfway. So I'll kind of show you that when they get to that point, because it will take a couple of minutes, and then we will be right back. So as you can see, they are browning up a little bit and they're somewhat translucent. I also turned the heat down to medium because I don't want them cooking too fast. Now, once these are done, then I will start to add the vegetables. And I add the more dense or heavier, thicker vegetables first. So, let me see here. I'll add the carrot, okay? And then I will add in the celery. I'm just going to move these bowls out of the way. So I add in the celery. A little tricky doing this with one hand. And then I will stir them up, let them cook a little longer together. So you can see, starting to look good in the pot. Okay, and then I also forgot to mention that I do 2 cloves of garlic. I have this little handy tool that you run it along the counter, and it dices up the garlic for you. So the garlic will go in just a minute as well. I think what I'm going to do is add in the peppers. I'll give them a couple of minutes to cook. In the meantime, I will also add in the garlic. But you see what I mean about rainbow? Look at how colorful that is. Anyhow, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to add in the garlic, let this cook down a little bit, and then we'll be back. So we're back, and the noise has settled down in the pot, which means things are cooking a little better. And I added garlic, and what I'll do now is sprinkle it over top of the vegetables and get my wooden spoon here to stir it around so that it will blend in, and then give it another couple of minutes of cooking to give the seasonings a bit of a chance to burst some flavor. And then, so you see, and then what I've done is I've rinsed the chicken, and these are actually 2 whole chicken breasts. The grocery store, for whatever reason, filleted them. So I'm going to be using 2 whole chicken breasts. I usually use 2 large ones. Then I have about a couple and a quarter of chicken stock and water. And so what I'll do next, after the vegetables cook down, is I'll add the chicken stock and then stir it around, let it marinate a little bit, and then add in the chicken, and then I'll top it up with water. And I'll come back and show you how big, if you see my hand is, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches long, and that pot's pretty close to the same length as my hand. So I'll show you how much is in there when it's done. It's a large cooking pot. We'll be back. Okay, so I have everything in the pot, and as you can see, it's just under the handles, which are probably about two-thirds of the way up the side of the pot. and that's about how much water I put in. I do not cut up the chicken before I put it in. I cook it whole, and then what I do now is I'll turn it up so that it will come to a boil, sorry. And then once it's boiling, or pretty close to boiling, I will set the timer over here for 30 minutes. At the end of 30 minutes, what I do is I fish those 4 pieces of chicken out of the pot, and then I shred them and leave them set aside. I don't put them back in until I'm actually serving the soup, and then I'll put them in the bowls and then put the soup on top. What I'll do now is wait for the pot to boil, set the timer for 30 minutes, and pull the chicken out. And we'll be back. And the soup is cooked. It's been, well, a little bit over 30 minutes. And I took the chicken out already. The chicken is right there. And you just pull it apart with a fork, is what I did. Now, to serve it, sometimes I'll add other things to the soup like spinach. But to serve it, what I did was I shredded... Sorry, my dishes just shifted the sink. I shredded some zucchini, and I put that in the bottom, kind of like noodles. And then I put in some chicken. So I put in some chicken in the bottom, and then I ladled the soup over top. And just so I don't end up with all the vegetables, I put in just some broth. And given that the time of year is wintry outside, in fact it was snowing today, and I struggle to get in enough liquid, this is a lot of soup. I'll eat that over a couple of hours, but I mix it up. The zucchini will soften a little bit, not that it needs much softening, with the heat of the soup. And I will probably eat this over the next couple of hours, because after having gastric bypass, you can't eat a lot, and so kind of get used to eating soup a little on the chili side. But it's low fat, low salt. The protein comes from the chicken, so like I said, you could add spinach. You could also add quinoa, which would give you an extra protein boost as well. And yeah, that's my soup. So hopefully you give the recipe a try, and let me see how it tastes. It's good. Could add a little bit more salt, but it's really good. Anyway, so that's my rainbow chicken vegetable soup. Bye.